Welcome back, you beautiful people, and today it's my Canyon Sender Pro Bike check, but this is my Valparaiso Urban downhill setup. Like always, I like to start with the heart of the bike, and this is the frame. This is the Canyon Sender. Front triangle is carbon fiber, and then moving on to the rear triangle, this is aluminium. And in the middle here, for all that nice sponginess to keep me nice and smooth out on the trail, this is the Fox X2 float rear shock. It's 200 mil of travel, but there's a lot that goes into this. It's totally set up for my standard of riding, and also I'm out here in Valparaiso, so I need to have this bike set up really hard, and in there I've maxed out on full tokens. This is a 2019 rear shock. Basically what I've done, I've put 210 psi in this rear shock, but these four settings here, which is my rebound and my compression, I've wound them all the way into close, and then I'm opened them up slightly. I've opened them 6 clicks on each one, and it's really stiff and quite slow, but I like it. It's perfect for what I want for this terrain. Right, moving on to the drivetrain. This is minimalistic. This thing's built for going down the hill fast and over some real rough terrain. It's not built for climbing back up to the top, so I don't need to have big gear range. So this is the SRAM X01 drivetrain. I got this nice derailleur, has super short cage, so it stays tucked up underneath this chainstay, so it doesn't hit all those rocks that flying past. Right, moving on to the wheel build of this bike. It's a 27.5. I know a lot of those World Cup downhill riders, they're now moving on to 29-inch wheels, but I'm going to stick with the 27.5 because I'm pretty free riding and I don't like big wheels. So the wheel build on this bike is a DT Swiss FR 950 wheel set, built on a DT Swiss hub as well, all in black, and what FR stands for is free ride, because I'm all about that. And the rubber on this bike is fresh just for this race because, you know, concrete. I want to have a lot of grip out there. These are Continental Der Kaisers. They're a 2.4 wheel, and inside this thing, I am running tubeless, but I'm running a cush core just in the rear because there's a lot of curbs here and they got some sharp edges, and I don't really want to bust a rim. So I'm running cush core on the rear, and up the front, I'm just running tubeless just in the front. Right, moving on to my crank arms. These are my Raceface 6C, and they're a full carbon crank arm set. And then my pedals, these are my Crankbrothers. They're the small size platform ones, and these are in green. These are my stamp ones, and I got some extra long pins in there just to keep my feet on those pedals when I'm going down that rough stuff. Now, to keep my chain on my Chainring, which is a 36 Raceface as well, Chainring, this is my E13 LG1 chain device, and that's definitely gonna help me keep my chain on my bike. So the thing I love about the color of my pedals is because they match my cush core valve. Look at that. Cool, love it. Okay, with the Canyon Sender, it comes with 2 different settings on the rear with wheelbase size. I got it set on the shorter size because I like a real short bike, because I'm a free rider and I like to move this bike around more in the air than down the hill. Right, moving on to the brakes. Take a look at that nice red caliper. That's a 4-pot caliper. It's quite a aggressive one. It's a downhill one. This is the SRAM code. These are very special to me. I got given these by SRAM, and there is something on that lever which I'll show you in a bit. But the rotor on the rear is a 180. Okay, up the front, you're introduced with these huge downhill forks. These are the Fox 40 dual crown front suspension. Now, setting wise, inside of this, I'm maxed out on full tokens, and I'm running 90 psi. And I've got that, like the rear, I've got it set quite firm because I don't really need that front end to dive down, because I'm running on quite smooth surfaces out here in Valparaiso. Now, the tire setup exactly the same as the rear. This is a Continental Der Kaiser at 2.4. I'm running tubeless. I'm not running cush core like I said in the rear. Again, I'm running the DT Swiss FR 950 wheel build on the front as well. And again, SRAM code in red, but I'm running a 203 rotor up front. Okay, moving on to the cockpit, where I keep this bike in control out there on the trail. I'm going to start with the bars. These are the Renthal fat bars. They were at 800. I've cut them down to 770. It's my preferred length of bar that I like to ride. And then to keep my hands on these bars are these Ergon GD1s in black. These grips come in 2 different sizes. And sizes is the grip size. Basically, you get a thin grip and a fat grip. I go for the fat grip because I like to hold something a bit more chunky on my bike. Now, to keep those bars mounted to my bike is this Renthal direct mounted stem. It's 50 mil in length as well. Right, moving on to the super special bit, which I'm super excited about. And it all starts right here. These are carbon levers, but on there, it says Samson. I got my name on my own brakes. Now that is going to fill me with a lot of confidence with my name on my brakes. And they're super chunky because they're a downhill brake, and they're designed for high powered speed braking. I like it, and it's definitely going to slow me down when I'm going a little bit too fast on the trail. And to top off this whole bike of mine, this is the Ergon saddle. This is the SMD3, it's a downhill saddle. It has titanium rails, and then this thing is bolted to this seat post. This is the Crankbrothers 3 Cobalt. And then to hold this whole system into my bike is this. Well, I lost the original seat clamp that came with my bike. I don't know how, but I had to steal this off my nuke-proof Scout to put it onto my bike. So this is my nuke-proof Scout seat clamp. Thank you very much for watching my pro bike check on my Canyon Sender Valparaiso setup. I've ridden this bike pretty much on all kinds of terrain, from humongous jumps at Suzuki Nine Knights, where I had to set up the suspension totally different to what I would if I was to ride Whistler Mountain Bike Park, where it's a bit more rougher and all that. So I'm becoming a bit of accustomed to setting up my bike for certain different terrains. If you want to see the video of me racing Valparaiso, click just down here. But if you want to see more content from GMBN, don't forget to hit the globe to subscribe, because you're definitely missing out on some rad stuff. And if you love my black beauty, give us a thumbs up like. See ya!